Hey guys, it's your boy Wolfie. Now, I don't like doing videos like this. I don't want to be a channel that releases negative videos, but I feel like Season 9 in Smite sucks. I feel like it's just bad. And everybody's going to have their own quick fix idea about how Hi-Res implements their solution. It'll solve all their problems, and their problem is the biggest problem. And you know what? I'm going to be completely honest. That's really arrogant. I think it's just a multitude of everybody's problems that they're all bringing up at the same time. They're all correct, but they're all wrong at the same time. I think it's not just a single thing. I think it's multiple things. I'm going to try to put these in a list on what I think is probably the biggest issues to the smallest ones. They might not be in order. They're probably just going to come off the top of my head, but yeah. First and foremost, I think the biggest thing holding Smite back is its engine. I think the fact that Smite is still on Unreal 3, I have a bad feeling that they're running into a lot of issues with it. I think it is the cause of a lot of the bugs. I think it's the cause of a lot of the limitations. I think it's the cause of a lot of things that we're running into games, even though we're not being told it is. I don't know if it is 100%, but I got a feeling it's got to be causing some kind of problem. It's really old, and I still remember all the horror stories I used to hear about Unreal 3. I also don't think it's very unreasonable for us to expect them to rewrite the whole game on a new engine. Smite has funded Hi-Res for a very long time. It was the only game making money for them for a very long time. It might still be the only game making money for them for a while now. And I personally think that if it's making that much money, it shouldn't be out of this world to expect them to invest that money back into the game to make sure that the game that is keeping the company afloat is okay. Maybe take a break on releasing new games and using those resources to put Smite in a better state, and then work on the new games. I got no problem with Hi-Res making new games. I just wish Smite was taken care of first. That's all. Kind of like what Riot did. Riot made sure that League of Legends was taken care of first, and then started making other games. I feel like Hi-Res just skipped the whole step. Yeah. But next thing, I'm going to be completely honest. I think the matchmaking is a huge problem in Smite right now, because I think this matchmaking is not only leaking from the ranked scene, I think it's going into the casual scene as well. I'm hearing complaints a lot more than I used to about the casual scene, and I've been noticing a huge difference in the matchmaking in Season 9 than I did in the earlier seasons. Smite has always gone up and down with how good its matchmaking is. In Season 8, it was kind of okay. I had some problems here and there, but it wasn't really as bad. Especially when I went back and looked at all the MMR for my games. You can see me a lot of times in Season 8 saying people just aren't very good. The matchmaking seems to be working very well. You seem to be on the same bracket. It's just unfortunate that player didn't play very well. It happens. But for the most part, Season 8 was a little better. Now in Season 9, bro, my average game, it has like 1,000 MMR difference from top to bottom. 1,000 MMR difference? That is a very different skill of player. Somebody at 1,500 doesn't play as well as someone in 3K or 2,500. Ooh, excuse me. Sorry. Not editing that out, though. There's a very difference in skill level. It can't be fun for either or. I know that when I'm playing at night now, I'm not even really having any fun. Because even when I win games, it's not a good game. It's just the enemy team getting stomped. It's very rare that I see a game that's actually engaging. People are actually playing the way they're supposed to, whether it be the enemy team or your team. It's nice to see them do it, but every game is so 50-50. I've never seen it this bad. It feels really bad. And it can't just be anecdotal, because a lot of other people are agreeing with me. And a lot of people from other game modes are agreeing with me. Maybe it could just be the season and the meta is so volatile that people's MMRs are very different, because it's that's a possibility, I guess, in the grand scheme of things. I can see that being a thing, that there being so much burst damage that it might just make it like a lot harder to solo carry. That could be a problem, but I don't think the matchmaking should make it possible for me to be in a game with somebody who's 1,500 MMR lower than me. I've had that happen multiple times in a single night, even in a row. I could have been in a good game with a bunch of people around my MMR and just go into the next game and not skip a queue, and all of us be separated into different games. I don't know what happened, but there's no way the matchmaking is good right now. And there's no way that it's keeping players playing. I've seen more people want to give up on this game because of the matchmaking than I've seen in any other season. And I played during the invade meta, even though that kind of made me quit for 6 months also. But there was other reasons on that one. Yeah, I don't know. I think something's got to change. I don't know what happened recently to matchmaking. I don't know if it's a bug. I don't know if he tried to change the algorithm. I don't know what the hell happened. I don't know if something like reset when you hard reset the MMR, but something's not right. Something went haywire. Something's broken. I don't know what it is, but it is trash right now. And it probably needs to be reevaluated really soon. Another problem with this game is its servers are terrible. I don't know why we have Northeast and Northwest servers when we don't even have enough players for a single server. I don't know why we're still in the situation where sometimes actives just don't get used. I don't know why the servers are always randomly going down at night. I don't know why almost every night we have a server maintenance. I don't know. I feel like this has been a common thing we've had the whole time, and I don't understand why. I feel like servers are extremely important for a online multiplayer game, and I don't know why you would skimp on something like that. Like, I don't know whether it's the programming. I don't know whether it's the servers that are available to high res. I don't know what it is. But after 9 years, I feel like Hi-Rez just needs to be vocal about it. We've kind of just been avoiding that topic and just letting it go through and just accepting that stuff instead of trying to make it better. This kind of goes back to the other thing of like Smite kind of pays the bills. I kind of wish you guys would keep up on maintenance. I don't know. I feel like this is another big thing, another quality of life thing that just gets ignored and is definitely the reason that people quit the game. I know a lot of people who quit the game purely because of server stability. It's kind of a problem, and I feel like it just never gets addressed. And this isn't even talking about the last weekend where they got DDoS the whole weekend. I understand sometimes you get DDoS and you can't fix that. That just is what it is, but it doesn't explain all the other times the servers go down. It doesn't explain all the other bad latency servers or unstable servers or the game going down for an entire night. Doesn't excuse those days. So, I mean, it is what it is at this point, right? I think another big problem with Season 9 right now is the meta is way too bursty, bro. We have power creeped to the point of the game not being fun. Items have so many stats. You get gold so fast. The gods get items so fast. Like, you're getting items faster than you ever got them before. And those items have higher stats than they've ever had before. And you don't have to buy boots. Things are getting way too crazy, way too fast. Characters are getting too tanky before other characters can buy penetration. Characters are doing way too much damage at all points in the game. There's no such thing as an early, mid, or late game character anymore because you just have to be good at all points in the game. Because if you're not, you can literally just be two-shot at level 2. You make a single mistake and you die in the beginning of the game, and the rest of your game feels like trash because the game snowballs so hard. I think it's a problem. I think it's okay if you get to late game and you start one-shotting people, but that should take time. You shouldn't be one shot from your first level of the game. It just feels bad. We're not playing a first-person shooter. We're playing a MOBA. There should be some sort of fight going on. There should be some sort of engagement. You should have to land more than just one rotation of abilities to kill somebody outside of heavy damage burst ultimates. Outside of ultimates like things like Scylla ult or Ra ult or something. Those are abilities that should probably kill you when you get hit with them in mid lane or something. But that's why you have things like Aegis and stuff to nullify that. As it stands right now, I'm more scared of regular abilities because they hit just as hard as ultimates, but they have a shorter cooldown. Like, if I get hit with 2 regular abilities now, I'm kind of just dead. Like, there's no box, there's no nuance, there's no, I'm going to trade a hit for something. No, you're probably just dead. But like back in the day, I used to be able to walk up, eat a hit, and me eating that hit was the cost of me getting into range to poke out the character. And if I played better than them and dodged their next rotation of abilities or positioned better, I was able to win that fight. That's not the case anymore. I just die. If I get hit with a skill, I'm dead. There's like no nuance in the engagement. It's hit first or die. And it's just not fun. And the reason we got to this point is because they keep on putting band-aids on the foundation. Tanks are too strong, so you have to buff damage. Damage is too strong, so you have to buff tanks. Tanks are too strong, so you have to buff damage. But you know what never gets changed? People's base numbers and people's base HP and people's base protections. Meanwhile, new gods are getting higher base damage, higher scaling, better abilities, more utility, all in the same kit. Meanwhile, their HP is still the same. So what's happening is that tanks are still taking a long time to kill, and they're actually getting tankier earlier in the game. And damage dealers are doing more damage than they were before, and are actually getting more damage earlier in the game. But the damage dealers don't have higher HP, and characters who don't have a lot of gold don't have higher HP, so they kind of just go dead before they get to play the game. And it just starts snowballing. There's no counterplay, no nothing. Whoever lands their abilities first just wins. Theoretically, if you just land everything first, you technically should win. Obviously, human error gets put into the game, and we can miss and we can make mistakes, and that's what the whole competition means. But it's kind of silly that, like, in a lot of situations, you don't really think that the trade is there. It's either you hope you get the start off first, you catch them off guard, or you die in more situations than not. And I don't know. I don't really enjoy that as much. I don't mind being in a burst meta, but I think we've taken it to 15, and I think we're better off at a 7. That's just me. I don't know about you guys. I think the meta is adding to the problems in the game. I think it's adding to everything else. That being said, I have met a lot of people who do like the meta and do like the game currently, and maybe that's just me being a baby. But I'm going to be a big baby. Wham. 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 Anyway, I think this is just one of those situations where we're in a bad meta. I don't really put this blame on any of the developers. It happens. Sometimes developers are going to make a mistake, but I do think they're taking too long to address it, and I think they're having a disconnect with the player base, and I also don't think that they understand what the problem is between Season 9 and Season 8. They're trying to bring us back to the way Season 8 was, when the biggest complaint that I heard from Season 9 was it's too much like Season 8. They need to be able to push us to another season. They needed to put new things on the map or give us new objectives or change the game enough to make Season 9 feel unique. The only thing they did in Season 9 was give us new late game options, and we never really get to use them in most games because we never back enough times to buy them at the end of the game. They also aren't actually that impactful because they're all on tied to really high cooldowns, so most people don't notice them. I don't know. Yeah, Season 9 was just a miss for me. I think it's just time to take the L and move on from that. But also, this Season 9 debacle brings a whole other problem into play. I think that we balance the game wrong. I think Hi-Rez goes through way too many balance changes too much throughout the whole season. I think that they change the items too much. Every 2 weeks, someone comes in and I don't know how to play this role anymore because I don't know the new items. It takes way too much upkeep to keep up with what's happening in the game. You guys aren't actually making a well-balanced game. You guys are just cycling out what's overpowered over the course of the season and then claim that every single character was played in the SPL over the course of the season. Well, of course they have. You have intentionally made characters overpowered or underpowered based on the different months, and so of course they all get picked because they're all viable at different points during the year. That's not a game being more balanced, that's just a game going through cycles. But it also makes it extremely hard for players to create content that are educational content to help teach new players how to learn the game. Instead, it becomes a very frustrating experience, and everything they learn just kind of gets thrown out the window every 2 weeks. And that's too much information for a casual player to keep up with. It just is. If you want to do radical changes, do them in the preseason and then leave us with a similar build for the rest of the season. Don't stop making radical changes every couple of weeks. It's okay to adjust the meta, but let us discover the meta. Let us learn what's OP. Just because something is OP in the first month of a patch doesn't mean it's just going to be OP for the next 5 months. I know a lot of people that Hi-Rez played fighting games, but as you can tell from fighting games, there are games that are out, and the whole entire tier list for that fighting game will be completely different 5 years later because of new things that are discovered for that current patch. I feel like we never get a chance to actually learn how a meta or a patch or anything works because things just get changed so fast. And then when they also do get changed, they get such heavy-handed changes. You not only nerf the thing that's overperforming, but you buff the thing that's underperforming. So it makes a hard shift. It just swaps their places. The characters that were too good before now become completely useless, and the characters that were useless can become completely overpowered, and they have to be picked every game. It's not a fun dynamic. I like the amount of patches we do get, but I don't like how much they change everything. I think a lot of these gods don't really need number changes as much as people think they do. I think they need a lot of fundamental changes. Like, we keep on buffing Chalk's damage. We keep on changing Chalk's this, Chalk's that. Chalk gets changed all the time. Instead of just messing around with his quality of life, why can't he just pick up his axe like Olaf does in League of Legends? Why can't he call back his axe so when he uses his 2, he doesn't get teleported backwards? So maybe if he's in a fight, he doesn't have to hold his 2 until his 1 runs out. Why can't he do things? Why can't we have these quality of life things? Why does every change have to be just damage? I don't know. It just feels weird. It just seems like we solve every problem by making somebody do more damage or less damage. And it's getting to a point where it's kind of boring for me. Love the game. I want to keep playing the game, and I want to see the game succeed because obviously if it succeeds, I make money, and I'm happy if I'm making money, obviously. But Season 9 has just been a drop ball for me, and that sucks because I went into Season 8 feeling really, really confident and really happy with the direction of the game, and Season 9 I just feel the exact opposite. That's me. That's my opinion. I definitely think I've missed some things. If you guys have any ideas of any things that I've missed, by all means, let me know. I'm going to keep letting the gameplay in the background go. But yeah, those are just my thoughts in video form. I definitely missed some things. Oh, wait. Let's talk about the toxicity in the game. First of all, every single game has toxicity. Every single game has toxicity. The difference is I feel like Hi-Rez is too lenient with their rules. They let people get away with things all the time, especially pro players. Meanwhile, in League of Legends, they just finished finding a pro player $8,000 for inting in Faker's game. Every single one of these games has tons of toxic players. every single one of these games, you meet the worst of the worst people. My problem is Hi-Rez is a little too lenient with who they punish. That's all. They forgive people way too often. They know people who break the rules and they don't punish them for it. It just is what it is. I think that's also another big thing, and I could probably talk about that for hours. And I don't know what their policies are and those kind of things, but from my experience, from all the stuff that I've dealt with while streaming, from all of the hate stuff that I've gotten, how many people I have to mute and block just so I don't have to deal with harassment on a daily basis. Yeah, they don't get banned. Sometimes they get banned for a couple of days, but they don't get permabanned, and they just go on alt accounts and they do it more. I will say they did help me out with Wade a long time ago, and they just kept banning him. They do that to some people, but some people just get away with murder because they spend a lot of money, man. It sucks. It is what it is. I wish they did, but I don't really think that's really a problem with the game. I kind of think that's a problem with most games online right now, and I don't really hold that against Hi-Rez too much because people online are just mean. They're just mean. People online are just mean. It just is what it is. Unfortunately, that is what it is. But I do think they should take care of their content creators a little more. Some of the Smite viewers are very malicious, and I really feel like Hi-Rez does not stop that enough. I feel like a lot of very big, prominent content creators have come over to try to play Smite and have expressed that the game is not fun to play because of all the people sniping, ghosting, and literally making the game unplayable for them. I think there's a problem because I know a lot of content creators who have entire Discords dedicated to saying really messed up things about them, really disturbing things about them, and trying to harass them on a daily basis. And I know that they have also had proof that some of these players have done that and they have not been punished and they're still able to just play the game normally. I know about it because I keep seeing those people on a daily basis. I know me and all the other content creators kind of just deal with it because that's just what we do. And Smite is very lucky to have very good content creators. I don't know how they have such good content creators, but people with personality just gravitate to Smite. It's so weird. I don't know where it comes from, but it's the truth. But yeah, I really wish there was a more heavy hand to that, but not everything can be perfect, and it kind of just comes with its territory of being online. But it would be nice to know that Hi-Rez had more of our back in this kind of scenario. We really feel like we're kind of alone on that one. Yeah. That kind of goes without saying. I could bring up people, but I don't want to expose anything right now. This is not that kind of video. But yeah, if you guys agree with me, go ahead. Let me know. If you guys disagree with me, feel free to let me know I'm an idiot in the comments. Thanks for watching the video. I appreciate it. You guys have a good one. And I will see you guys tonight on stream. I will most likely be playing Smite. Bye. Towers aren't bad in Smite. It's just that that's why I was saying they're like, oh, we buffed tower damage by 10%. I'm like, that doesn't matter when the tower hits the tank for 100 damage. They're taking 10 extra damage. It's the fucking squishies that are gonna die to towers more. It's not even power creeping, it's the pace of Smite. Smite's pace is a lot faster than other games. You're full build by 20-25 minutes. You led your army to a killing spree. 30 minutes in Predecessor, we weren't even on our fucking third item. It's not that the towers do more damage, it's just that we have higher stats. That's all. Because trust me, once you get to 40 minutes, 30 minutes in League of Legends, they ignore towers outside of Phoenixes, which you can't really ignore Phoenixes also in Smite.
Bring it.
The game's like the moment the game ends doesn't matter. Like, we can have 20-minute games, that's fine. Let me tell you, when you get to 40 minutes, trust me, League of Legends tanks aren't giving a fuck about the tower. The same thing with Dota. They don't give a fuck about the tower. The only tower they care about is in the base, and you don't really care. You're not really scared of the tower. It's the fact that all 5 players are there, plus a tower, plus you're in a negative position because it's hard to get into and get out of.
Okay.
Yeah, like I'm saying, like people don't realize what the difference is. Allied used to say this shit all the time. I don't know what it is, but Hi-Rez is really scared of having a nice long game. And it's like, that's not really a problem to have a long game. It's not a bad thing to have a 30, 40-minute game in a MOBA. He said that a long time ago, that they keep on trying to take away, like, the MOBA aspect from MOBAs. Except our tank, well, again, that's part of a bigger problem. Goodness, he got away. This is bad. This is bad. You guys are trying to chase. This is not a good chase. Oh, I guess the mana's not here.
An enemy joins your undead army.
Bro, that was one hit.
Your left Phoenix is under attack. Be careful.
Oh my fucking god, bro. Jesus, just push. God damn, man.
Your team has destroyed left enemy tower.
My masters agree with your an enemy is struck down.
Be careful. Need healing.
An ally has been
Really gotta stop going alone. Really gotta stop going alone, bro. Oh, we're dead now. I really wish we could just group the fuck alone.
An enemy has been slain.
You guys are over chasing, running into stupid shit, staying way too long. And now they have a fucking Vamana who can just hold W at me when there's no counterplay. That's a lot of fun.
Your middle tower is under attack.
Well, yeah, he's not doing anything. He's been completely useless this whole game. He's playing Apollo jungle for the sake of playing Apollo jungle, and he's getting out split pushed, and he's not really doing anything. He's not doing anything in team fights, he's not doing anything gank-wise, he's not doing anything anywhere. He's kind of just useless this whole fucking game.
The enemy team has destroyed the Gold Fury.
Group up. Attack fire giant.
Yes.
I mean, imagine they didn't remove every single counter to him fucking Vamana ult in the game, that'd be nice. That'd be lovely.
Group up. Retreat, retreat.
Attack fire giant!
Show no mercy.
Group up. Group up. Attack middle lane.
Show no mercy.
We kind of can.
Attack left lane!
Okay.
Yeah, but that doesn't stop him from doing damage to the target that he was on. You used to be able to wall him off,
Ultimate is
which was
ready.
the big counter to Vamana. So you'd pick characters like Odin, or you'd pick characters like Kabrakan or Ymir, and you were actually able to peel for your team against against Vamana, and they just removed it. Now you have to kill him, so it requires your whole team to play against him. It requires your damage to do enough damage, and it requires your supports and your fucking solo lanes to buy the right actives, and it takes too much fucking team coordination for it. It's fucking stupid. He wasn't bad back then. Vamana has been meta plenty of times. Like, Vamana has been meta plenty of times. Like, the problem with Vamana is he's a broken character. Whenever he's meta, he breaks the fucking game. That's why they always have to make him bad. Him not being meta is not a problem.
That's too bad.
Your ally is no match for them. You have bested an enemy in combat.
Okay. Group up.
Like, Vamana wasn't always a bad character. Iscott, thank you very much for the resub.
For Cybertron. As if they could defeat one of my masters. Chaos unleashed. A pair of adversaries are no match. You've led your army to a killing spree. An enemy is struck down.
Vamana has been broken in multiple metas. The problem with Vamana is that he's a broken character in terms of like concepts. That's the problem with Vamana. So every time he's good, they have to nerf the shit out of him or create something that literally removes him from the game. Because whenever he's good, he breaks the whole fucking game. It's the common problem that Smite has when they create characters without fucking weaknesses because they make their strengths too fucking big to deal with. It's the same shit like when they made Bakasura CC immune for 3 fucking seconds. Who the fuck thought that was a good idea? Just like when they buffed Zeus, when I was like, hey, you don't need to buff Zeus, he does too much damage.